All right, here we are. After a long week, we're back at the trash fire with your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Solid amount of news. Lots of not miniature related news too.
Yeah, there was some gaming event that Warhammer hosted last week. Show off some new up and coming games, some hopefully good games coming out. We won't really know until we get some, gameplay, but we got that. Got more faction focuses to look at. And some good old world news.
Yeah, interesting old world news.
Yeah, so we got plenty to talk about here. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our first story, which is the Warhammer Schools event. So this is their video game event convention that they held to show off some of the new Warhammer games that are coming out and some updates to older games as well. They had a whole live stream. I didn't watch it. I was working. But
Yeah, I was sleeping, I believe.
yeah, no worries. But the first thing on this list here is Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin, which is looking like a good old Dawn of War RTS kind of game.
Yeah, what a banger of a first announcement, I would say. I am pretty excited about this. I've been clamoring for an Aegis, like a triple A style Age of Sigmar game for the longest time, and this could be it. I was asking for either an RPG or an RTS, and this is the latter, and hopefully it's good. The Forgot who makes this, but it's interesting that it's also going to be on console, so it's going to be built for console, not just PC, which I think is a good idea because PC gaming, while going strong, it's more of the realm of MMOs and MOBAs, and I think appealing to the console gamer will I think you get a better audience there for something like a AAA RTS game, and two, there's a lot of RTS games on the console that are good, so I think be this is a market they could tap in. Like the game looks cool. Like the game could just be decent, and I will be happy. The game doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be Dawn of War 1. It could be a solid RTS Age of Sigmar game, and I'll be happy because it is a good. It's going to be the first real Age of Sigmar game.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go on consoles because I'm not used to seeing an RTS on a console.
Yeah, which I think is going to be to their advantage for again, like I mentioned earlier, having a good, because there's a lot of console players who want RTS games, and I think having that would, or this being one of the first big ones, would do a lot for popularity. Yeah,
Well,
these are the same guys who made Chaos Gate, and Jurassic World Evolution was actually one of my favorite sim games where you build Jurassic Park. So I have hopes, not high hopes, but I have good hopes for this game for sure.
I mean, the RTS market is very dry at the moment. I think the
Yep.
only one carrying it at this time is Company Heroes 3, I
Yeah,
think.
and that game's doing okay.
Yeah. Well, RTS is a
Dying
niche
off for sure.
audience to get into. It's,
Yeah, dying breed.
as I hear, a high skill cap to get into the game.
Yeah, which
But
doesn't do wonders for the popularity of the genre. But here's hoping that Realms of Ruin will be a great game.
I mean, it's just gotta satisfy the Warhammer fans because Dawn of War 3 definitely didn't do that.
Yeah, yeah, they
So,
just need to copy paste Dawn of War 1 with an AOS skin, and we're good to go. I mean, they're not going to do that, right? But I think that having the themes there of squads, capturing points, all that, it's going to be good.
yeah. Well, let us hope. But that's not all we got. We also got a new game, Speed Freaks, which kind of just looked like Twisted Metal to me.
Yeah, except orcs, which, hey, it's a working combo, right?
It's a 16-player uh, slugfest, a racing combat game. So, I mean, it fits into it. It just looks a little jank. Granted, it is the beta did open up the day of this event, so you were able to play it. Let me know how you guys liked it. Not my cup of tea, I will say. I don't really have any interest in playing it, but it's good to get the variety out there. Nothing more orky than a bunch of orcs just fighting each other while racing. So that's coming out. Speed Freaks. Space Marine 2. We just got more trailer. No release date.
Good trailer though. I mean, this game is looking better the more I see it. But not having a release date, that's okay. I think it's better to take your time and make sure the game is good before releasing a rush product. So, and I mean, having the what's the word? Generating the hype slowly with these trailers. I think it's fine. I mean, it's Space Marine 2, right? The first game is well beloved, and they just need to release something like that, except with Tyranids and with better graphics.
Which they're delivering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, still no release date on this one, which was the big letdown about it. But there's also other news that we got with this announcement, and that was a miniature Titus coming to the tabletop.
Yeah,
Looks a little goofy in my opinion.
yeah, it's a very interesting figure for sure. Not my favorite.
Yeah, him, bouncing on that tactical rock just looks weird. But my prediction almost came true.
Of what?
When we were talking about the starter set for 10th edition and
Having
how
Captain Titus in it?
it was gonna have Captain Titus in it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
kind of got it. He got his own board game.
He did get his own board game, that's right.
I don't think I'd pick it up, but he's there. He's coming.
It does come with a bunch of Termagants, so if the price is right and you just want more Termagants of the new sculpt, it's probably a good pick.
Probably. But we'll have to wait and see. But that is coming. So we got that. Total Warhammer 3. They just, gave some, just, glorified it a little bit, saying Chaos Dwarves in the Immortal Empires campaign. Not much of a drop on this one.
They announced a new character, Harry the Hammer, which is the first Warhammer character ever, is going to come to the game in a free update. So hey, it's free.
True.
And reminding people that that full Warhammer 3 exists.
We got that. We got a crossover event of Power Wash Simulator and Warhammer 40k coming together. I've never played the Power Wash games. I think it's just
I'm really not aware of them.
I think it's just like a simulator of you just like washing a car or something like that.
Cool.
So
Yay,
I'm
yay
sure we'll be
Warhammer.
washing like a Space Hulk or something.
Yay, Warhammer.
We got that. We got Dark Tide got an update. 2 new maps. Chaos Spawn comes back to the game from Vermintide.
Yeah, I hope they're fixing that game from what I've heard about its launch. So, I mean,
Yeah, they've released 9 patches now,
that's good.
so bunch of you know, and a lot of hot fixes to the game. So they're you know they're fixing the game as best they can, but it's only been 6 months. Surprisingly, would think that this game came out a long time ago, but 6 months. That's that. Rogue Trader. I actually have never seen anything about Rogue Trader
This game is
until
pretty hype.
today,
Yeah.
or not today. When this got released.
Yeah, this game is hype. I probably will pick this up on launch if it's not a buggy mess.
Oh, it'll always be
But
a buggy mess. That's modern gaming, my friend.
I don't know.
Everything is
I got another
broken.
game recently that had no bugs, which is shocking, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, here's the hope that this will be another shockingly bug-free game. But it does look promising. There's going to be a beta coming out. Essentially, for our listeners who don't know, it's like a classic RPG with a party, and you do party things, except it's 40K. So you're, as the title implies, you're playing as a rogue trader, doing rogue trader things. If you played games like Divinity, it's kind of like that. It's not going to be as good as Divinity, but it's kind of in that realm. So I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest. Like I mentioned, because it's a fun genre, and it's Warhammer, and it does showcase. Looks like it showcases a good bit of the Warhammer world.
Yeah, as
Lots of
soon as I
humans.
started seeing the
You know.
gameplay, that's when I was sold on the game. So, I mean, the ship combat's a bit janky as I'm watching the trailer video right now, but
Which
other
is
than that,
fair.
I mean, it looks good. It looks solid. You got Drukhari, you got Eldar, you got Necrons, got I don't know if they got anything else. Chaos, obviously. It it looks like it's gonna be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it. This game flew under my radar, but I'm glad they highlighted it now. So that's that. Another hype game looking, and then I think the beta goes live June 1st. So tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow. Thursday is when this will be, or
Yeah,
beta
I
will
might
be
try to
out.
get into beta, but we'll see.
So we got that. Warhammer Warforged. I don't really care too much about the card games,
Yeah, me neither.
so I've got nothing to add to this. Bolt Gun, the Doom, the boomer shooter, as they call it, type of game is coming out, or is out actually. I'm looking forward to it.
So I got this game. This is the game I was talking about, and it's kind of amazing, actually. This is some of the most fun I've had in a shooter in a long time. Like, it's not. I mean, obviously, it's a gory shooter, like a Warhammer shooter should be, but it just feels really good. Like you play as a Stern Guard veteran, and like the weapons feel heavy. The the movement feels heavy, even though it's kind of retro style graphics. But it really nailed the feel of you're this super soldier. Like bolters will one shot humans and lesser demons, while it may take a few shots to kill an enemy Chaos Marine. So I think they nailed the feel, which is probably one of the most important things when making a 40K game, is nailing that feel of the universe, because that's one of the big draws to Warhammer, is the feel of the grim dark kind of setting with chaos and space marines. If you're gonna make a game about space marines, you gotta do space marines right, and this game definitely gets space marine right. It gets the bolter right, I would say. Definitely recommend this game to anyone who could play it, who has a console or PC that could run this game. It's probably one of the best Warhammer 40,000 games since Dawn of War 2.
Since Fire Warrior.
No. This is what Fire Warrior should have been, where you actually play as a space marine. But yeah, this, and no bugs when I got it.
I would find it pretty amazing if there were a lot of game breaking bugs in this game. And you
Negative.
know what? It's price reasonably too for
Yeah,
$20.
20 something dollars. Yeah, because like lower 20s.
It's like $21. It's
It's yeah,
19 right now because of the
yeah,
sale, but
yeah. It's one of those games where you just don't expect much from it because you play as a Space Marine, you kill enemies. There's puzzles a little bit, but it's a combat focused game, right?
it's
And
a classic boomer shooter.
yeah,
Duke
it's challenging
Nukem,
on higher difficulties. The
Duke.
again, the weapons feel great. The character feels great. There's a button where I think triangle on because I got it for a PS4. When you press triangle, all it does is your character says a battle cry, and it's hilarious. And it's pretty Warhammer because they always scream for the Emperor and stuff, right?
Of
So
course.
yeah, definitely recommend this for a fun time.
Yeah, it's gonna pick it up this week.
You'll not be disappointed.
I don't think I will. That's coming out, or that I mean, sorry, that is out.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. Get some controllers if you're into that. More games. Vermintide got another update.
Yeah, I'm glad that game still gets stuff. Like I should probably play Vermintide.
I haven't touched Vermintide 2 in a very long time. That's getting an update. Battle sectors getting orcs. Blood Bowl, I guess, is getting lizards. I don't really know. Didn't care too much to really read into it. Mechanicus is getting something. Leaderboards in school shooters, blood and teeth, which whatever. And Chaos Gate looks like it's getting an armature or something. World of Tanks. I mean, they've already had collaborations before in Warhammer. I think it was Warhammer. I mean, Battle of Tanks. Either that or it was the Battleship game. I don't remember what that one was called. Either way, they've had collaborations before. So, mini stuff. Free games right now until June 2nd, I believe. You can get Gladius for free. I have not played Gladius yet. It is a hexagon RTS game. So if you want to save yourself, I think it's $40 for the game. You want to save yourself some money? Now's the time to pick it up if you're looking for an RTS to kill some time. Of course, all the money you'll be putting into the game is buying the DLC, but right now, Gladius is free. If you want to grab that. Underworlds is free if you wanted to play the digital Underworlds game. And Talisman Digital Edition, also free if you want to pick that up. I'm not sure on this last image here, but that is there. Mobile games, I don't know mobile games. I know John knows Tactics.
Yeah, I play Tacticas. It's pretty fun. And they're getting Thousand Suns, which is cool.
That
The game is
sounds,
it's just grindy like mobile games are. If you don't spend money, it's grindy.
of course.
That's what it is,
The Horus Heresy Legion card game. Chaos and Conquest. And Silver Tower. All the mobile games I can't tell you anything about, but they are getting content. So, overall, pretty good. Pretty exciting news. Of course, I'm still most excited for Space Marine 2. Just disappointed that we didn't get any information on when it's coming out other than this year. I just pray to God. I pray to the God Emperor. This is not a buggy mess.
Yes.
I know that's asking a lot for AAA gaming. But I am praying, God Emperor, do not make this a buggy mess. Please be good. But that was the Warhammer Schools event. If you were interested in the gaming aspect. Moving on, we have the Sunday preview. So this is going to be short. Wasn't too much to preview this week. Space Marine Heroes Death Guard are coming back. You want to pick up some unique sculpts of the Death Guard. They're coming back in their random box. Warhammer Underworlds is bringing back the Legions of Nagash team, and were these Stormcasts new?
No, none of them are new.
None of them are new. They're bringing back the old teams.
Depending on the price, I want to pick up the Sepulchral Guard to get some cool skeletons, because those are probably one of the best skeletons Games Workshop has made.
I still have mine.
There you go.
I picked those up.
I have a squad that's painted, but I want to repaint them.
Got it. They're coming out. Headman's Curse. The Night Haunt Underworlds team. What else we got here? We got the Void Curse Thralls Rivals deck, which I think is just the pre-made deck, right? Or are these just cards?
Pre-made Rivals. I believe it is pre-made Rivals. Rivals is our pre-made decks.
Okay. There. Black Library. We're getting the Indrasta Celestial Spear limited edition book here. I mean, it's a sick book, I'll say. Not big on the Sigmarine aesthetic, but this book cover, pretty nice. Got that. We got Caiaphas Cain, another book coming to audio, which I'll have to pick up because I'm a big fan of the audio books of the Caiaphas Cain books. We got Fall of Damnos. Some German books, or books being translated into German, the Harrow Master. They're bringing back the Chibis, 40k. So if you want to get some Chibis made by Bandai, now's your chance. Honestly, look really bad, in my opinion. But I'm sure there's a market out there for someone who wants to have this. And for Warhammer Plus, we got Black Talon episode 4. And the I think the first battle report of the new edition, 40k, will be out. So interesting stuff to come out this week. Mainly if you're an AOS fan. But that is that. Now, I want to just quickly go over the 40k factions. I'm not going to go over all of them, because a lot of them I don't have much things to add to them. So I'm just going to go with the stuff that I know. Starting off with the Eldari. So, what did my favorite army get this time? So, we still have the army rule, Strands of Fate, which last edition it was roll a dice, and whatever the corresponding die roll was, it would give you this ability, which would be an automatic 6. So if you rolled, let's say for the Strands of Fate, you rolled a 1, 2, 3, 4. For your roll, it would be an automatic 6 to run, or to advance, I mean. An automatic 6 to cast a psychic spell. 1 to hit. And I'll just pick up the other one. 6 to wound. So whatever you rolled was an automatic 6, but you had to go according to the chart. This one is now making it look like it is the Sisters of Battle system. So now instead of rolling 6 dice, discarding 2, you are now rolling 12 dice. And you can keep all 12 dice if you want to, but whatever you roll on that dice, it will be, you basically just substitute it whatever you're going to roll. So if you were shooting and you hit on a 3+, you could replace one of your dice with that 3, and that would, save you a roll, guarantee hit, or a guarantee wound, whatever you need. And the other interesting part about this is you can re-roll all these dice at the cost of discarding 1 dice each time you do this, to a minimum of 1. So it is getting the Sisters of Battle treatment, just a different flavor, which is okay.
Yeah, how do you like it?
I mean, it gives me more choices, but that guaranteed 6. I mean, granted, the psychic powers are completely different in this edition than last edition. That guaranteed 6 on a shuriken weapon or psychic power, whatever I needed, that was really nice. But this just, it gives me more options, right?
Right.
If I need to hit, I could just substitute that one dice, get that hit,
And
substitute
you
again.
you do this once per game or every turn?
This is the start of every command phase, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Start of the battle, Strands of Fate. Roll 12d6. It might be just once.
Is it once per game?
I might have misread it, but it's at the start of the battle. You make your Strands of Fate by rolling
Oh, it
12
is once
dice.
per game.
So, yeah, I guess. So, now that I reread it, it's actually worse than before.
Oh, because the last time was it every round?
It was the start of every. It was the start of every round.
Gotcha.
So now if this is once per game, it's a lot worse. You gotta be a lot more selective than you were back then.
Yeah.
So would I have taken the randomness of a 1 being advance, 2 being a charge roll or whatever? I think I would, because there were a lot of ways to manipulate it, which I'm sure if you're running a Farseer, like in last edition, or in 9th edition, I should say, you can manipulate your Strands of Fate dice if you have a Farseer. But yeah, this being once a game, not as strong. Not as strong. Still useful. That's still potentially 12 dice that you can use.
Right.
But majority of the time you're hoping for a 3+. I'm just gonna say that much. Any 1s or 2s is pretty bad. So this is a lot less good as I thought it was gonna be. Going on to the next thing, you got the detachment, the unparalleled foresight. Each time an Eldari in this unit in your army is selected to shoot or fight, you can re-roll 1 hit roll and re-roll 1 wound roll, resolving those attacks. It's funny how they said the re-rolling was gonna be tampered down, and yet there's still so many. We're not even done. There's so many re-rolls mechanics still in this game, but that's 40k. We need those re-rolls.
Yeah, that's 40k.
The unit spotlight, we got the Farseer. So it looks like he'll have a range attack of Eldritch Storm. Not as good as it used to be, but we all knew it was going to be tampered down. But he's coming back. Movement 7, which standard. It's got the Branching of Fate psychic ability, which is once per turn. When you use a Fate dice to substitute, made for a model within 12 of the Farseer from your army, one of your models from your army will be able to use that ability as if it was the result of that Fate dice. First change to a 6. So, as you can see, the Farseer is still able to manipulate the Fate dice, which is nice. And then Fortune they're getting is going to be in the command phase. Each time an attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So Fortune used to be +1 to your save. Or was it a 5-up invul? Either way, it used to be a save. Now it's just a -1 to your wound. So that was a warlock ability, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. Either way, that was a warlock thing. Farseer is gonna be okay. I mean, Farseers are basically the staple of Eldar, so definitely be seeing them around. We'll just have to see how the jet bikes fare out point wise, because I'm pretty sure Farseer on jet bike is still gonna be the thing to go. But then again, we'll have to see what psychic ability the jet bike Farseer gets. If it's gonna be a different one other than Fortune. But moving on from that, we got the Guardians. As we can see, pretty much the same. 4-up save, leadership 6. The heavy weapon platform, looking at the guns here. Star Cannon got a boost in strength. It's strength 8 now. AP 3, 2 damage. Kind of reminds me of the old Star Cannon back in 4th edition. Back when it used to be my Space Marine killer gun. So it's nice to see. Scatter Laser. 6 attacks. No, stayed the same strength. That's pretty much the same. Bright Lance, strength 12, d6 plus 2, so minimum of 3 damage at least. -3. Surprisingly, no unique ability attached to the Bright Lance. That's pretty much the same. Everything is pretty standard on the Guardians there. The weapon highlight, we got the Prism Cannon. It could be a rise in the fire prisms again, because it's going to have the Link Fire ability, which used to be a stratagem that you had to do. Now it's baked into their ability, which was as long as one fire prism had a line of sight of a target, you would link their fire, so their attacks would be brought into one beam. And so this could make them a pretty big menace, especially if they can do the ability Fire and Fade, which, you target one of your Eldari units, you make a normal move, and the only restriction is it can't be an aircraft unit or within engagement range. So it'll be a pretty wild combo if you got plenty of terrain to hide behind. If you wanted to do this Link Fire ability, where you position the fire prism to see whatever target you want to hit, fire away, and then of course if you got the command points, fire and fade. Just move it behind cover so it can't take any damage or whatever. So it's a pretty nasty combo that you could do with this. So overall, now that I reread that Strands of Fate, I'm a little less excited for Eldari, but overall, still pretty strong. I just hope the points are in their favor and not overpriced like they were last time, or the last few times, I should say. So that's them. Moving on, we have the Death Guard faction. From what I saw, not very happy from the Death Guard community about this. So they kept their Nurgle Gift aura thing, where if you're within X amount of inches, you will get -1 toughness. And that still grows each battle round. So as you can see here, the contagion range First round 3, second 6, 9. 9 will be the max. It's whatever. If you're going against Eldar or any other toughness 3 kind of guys, it'll, your bolters will do wound them on 2+, but that's kind of whatever. I mean, it's not going to be good against vehicles because vehicles are all like, all the way up to like toughness 13, 14 right now. So it's a whatever kind of ability. It'll give you some advantages in some cases, but not as good as the feel no pain that they used to have.
Mm-hmm.
Spread the sickness. This is again going to be sticky objectives. So whilst they control an objective for the to the next command phase, it'll be a sticky objective, and we'll have contagion as well. So if a unit gets in range of that aura, they will be -1 toughness trying to take the objective. So kind of, again, kind of whatever. It has negative effects for trying to get onto their objectives, but nothing too great. We got the unit spotlight here. We got the White Lord Terminators. So we'll see that they have gone up to toughness 6 now, which...
Yep, like the Terminators.
Yeah, the Terminators. Toughness 6. Which means, not a big change in wounding them other than some heavy weapons. And they used to be toughness 5, so bolters were wounding them on 4s. Heavy bolters were wounding them on 4s.
Heavy bolters, yeah. Now it's going to be 5s for heavy bolters.
Yeah. So it'll still be tanky. You got the 4-up invul save. You got the Plague Spewer, which is anti-infantry 2, so it's wounding on a 2+. Pretty nasty. If you can get a good shot off with that. Else. Not really anything else here. I mean, the Bubonic Blades and the Corruption are lethal hits. So you can, I think lethal hits. So hitting on 6s, I believe, are mortal wounds or auto wounds, I think. So you can get that. Blistering. What is that? Full side. That's their ability. Each time a model in this unit makes a range attack, if that target is the closest eligible enemy unit, reroll wound roll of 1. So, again, bringing back rerolls, but overall it's pretty meh. Especially since 9th edition plague weapons have reroll to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a kind of a big downgrade on that one, though. Or was it reroll the wound? I think it was reroll the wound. My mistake for the plague weapons. So not as killy as they used to be with that. But what are Death Guard? They are just a tar pit, really. That's why they have that extra toughness. But we'll see if that does anything for them there. The next one, we got the Malignant Plaguecaster. The Psyker of the group here. Not much to say here. The Plague Wind is now going to be the psychic range attack that they got. Do a focus one, which will be hazardous, which does d6 plus 3 damage, but you also have to worry about hurting yourself on that one, since it has the hazardous keyword. Gift of Contagion. In the shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker on a d6. 1 to suffer will suffer mortal wounds. On a 2+, the start of your next shooting phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, subtract 1 from the rune roll. So you can go from wounding the unit on 5s to 6s, so making you a little more tanky. And then they got the Pestilent Fallout, which is in the shooting phase. After this model has shot, if one or more of the attacks it made with the Plague Wind scored a wound against the enemy infantry unit, next turn subtract 2 from that unit's move characteristic and advance in charge rolls. So overall, I'm not getting the terrifying vibe that I used to get when playing against Death Guard at this moment. And that's a big thing, that their disgusting resilience is gone. That's what's making it a lot more.
Second time they changed it.
Yeah, making it a lot easier for me to deal with here. And the last thing we got here, I believe, is the Plague Burst Crawler. It shows off its mortar. It's going to be blast, indirect, lethal hits. So d6 plus 3 attacks. 3 up, ballistic skill, strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage. Well, I mean, it's definitely just going to be an infantry killer, because it's not going to do too much against the tanks out there with the strength 8.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Dark Eldar, but we'll get to them. So it's got the Spore Lace shockwaves. In the shooting phase, after this model has shot 1 or more of its attacks made with the Plague Burst Mortar, scored a hit against an enemy infantry unit, that infantry must take a battle shock test. So overall, I can't remember. I think the strength 8 was the same. It lost in AP. I'm pretty sure. It used to be AP 2. It was either that or it was damage 3. So it got a little bit of a nerf there. But that's coming out there. Oh, and then the stratagem. The Sanguis Flux. In the fight phase, select a Death Guard unit. Till the end of the phase, equipped by the models have a Sustain 1 ability, and within range of an effective objective, they have Sustain 2. So sustain hits are any 6s you roll to hit are generated an additional attack. So if you're within range of an effective objective, you would get Sustain 2, which would mean any 6s is 2 more attacks. So pair that up with the Blight Lords, and they could be doing some massive damage out there. But overall, we'll need to see more of the army to get a better feel here. Because I'm not feeling them. I feel like the Death Guard got done a little dirty here. And I think the reason it feels like they've been done dirty is because they lost the Feel No Pain. Like the whole thing that made the army.
I thought they didn't have that. Didn't they take that away for 9th? This is -1 damage.
The -1 damage, yeah, disgusting resilience was there. But seeing how they were going to bring back old keywords and stuff, I would figure that this army would be getting it.
I see.
But they don't even have the -1 damage either.
Right.
So all they got was make the enemy -1 toughness. So not the biggest trade. They got gypped. That's all I'm gonna say there. Moving on. We move on to the next army here. Thousand Suns, my army that I pretty much used on the second half of 9th edition. And they got a few things. So they're keeping the Cabal. The Cabal points are coming back, are staying. So each unit will have X amount of Cabal points. And we can use those Cabal points to basically cast our spells. So if I have the Cabal points, I can cast Weaver Fates, Temporal Surge, Echoes from the Warp, Doombolt, Twisted Fate. At the cost of, my Cabal points, which, looking at, pretty much the same. Almost the same. Notable changes: Twisted Fate here. Armor saves cannot be made. It used to be no invul saves. You used to just turn off your invul saves. Now this is just armor saves, which, depending on what it is, a lot better. Doombolt is D3 plus 3 mortal wounds now. And if it's you on a 6, if you roll, it's D3 plus 6 mortal wounds, so a lot better. Because right now it's just 3 mortal wounds, which is consistent, but this does a lot more output. Temporal Surge is Temporal Surge. You just get a free movement. Cannot charge the turn, so it kind of got nerfed there. Unless I quickly read it. Yeah, just makes a normal move and cannot charge. It used to be you could make a normal move and I think you could charge, but you couldn't do it out of Deep Strike. This one just straight up says just a normal move and cannot charge.
Mm-hmm.
Echoes from the Warp. Target a stratagem, 0 CP, even if you've already used the stratagem this turn. And Weaver Fates is now reroll your saving throw, which used to be a +1 to the invul save to a max of 4 up. So now this is just a reroll saving throw. So some changes in there. Obviously, Doombolt is still going to be very threatening. Twisted Fate is pretty threatening of having no saving throws. Moving on, we got the Cult of Magics. So, got Malevolent Charge. Weapons equipped by 1,000 Suns in your army have lethal hits. Maelstrom, sustain hits of 1. Wrath of the Immaterium. Psychic weapons have devastating wounds. These are pretty much anything psychic weapons. Getting all these abilities added to them. And of course, they gotta highlight the best character of the 1,000 Suns, Ahriman, who has a cabal of sorcerers of 3. So, a good pick, which everyone will probably go with. Because who doesn't want to have all those cabal points? What he does is the Rubric Lord. He allows units that attack to add 1 to their rune roll while he's leading them, of course. And then the Arc Sorcerer of Tzeentch. Once per battle, I can select 1 model to use a ritual of 0 cabal points. If you do, all other rules for using rituals still apply. So if you want that Doombolt or that Twisted Fate to go off for free, you gotta run Ahriman, the best hero we got. Other than that, he's pretty much the same. 3 up save, movement 6, 5 wounds. Yep, toughness 4. Stat wise, he's pretty much the same, unfortunately, but you can only hope for so much. And then, of course, we got the Rubric Marines. They got their new rule of Bringers of Change. Each time a model in this unit makes a range attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If that target attack is within range of an objective you do not control, it rerolled the wound roll instead. So pretty devastating there. Again, GW. I thought we were toning down the rerolls, but here we are. And the Icon of Flame has changed as well. Each time the bearer makes a range attack, if a critical wound is scored, improve the armor pen of the characteristic by 1. So, the Icon of Flame, 9th edition, just gave you an extra Cabal point. So, now they've changed it to something else to do something different. Which I think in 8th edition, it used to just randomly cast a spell. If you roll like a 5-up or something on it, do like a mortal wound to the closest enemy unit. So they are changing it yet again. Anything worth noting? Stat-wise, still the same. Obviously, they do not have the All is Dust special rule anymore, which was AP1 AP1 weapons would give you +1 to your saving throw. Or no, wait, or no, not +1 to your saving throw. AP1 would basically be AP0. Because it would subtract 1 from the AP. That's what it would do. So they don't have that anymore. So that's gone. But all in all, it's still pretty devastating on what the rubrics can do here. Weapon Spotlight, they highlighting the Warp Vortex. I mean the. God, I'm blanking on the name on this thing. The Vortex Beast. There you go. They're giving the little ball on its back some new weapon profiles here. So, got Warp Vortex, which is going to be a blast. 24, d6 plus 3 attack. Strength 9, AP2, 2 damage. You can go into the Beam, which has devastating wounds. 1 attack. Strength 18 minus AP minus 4, d6 plus 6 damage. Or you can have the Flamethrower version, which will be 2d6, strength 6, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. So, I give them this. They're trying to make it a lot better. They've done so many alterations to this model to make it work. Maybe this is the time that it'll actually be taken in a serious game. Because I've tried making this model work so many times, and
oh, you have one, the Vortex Beast.
Oh, I have 2.
Oh, okay.
I have 2. Back in 8th edition, where you could soup more commonly with the Zinch demons and everything like that, I was like, yeah, pick this up. This will buff my units. Blah 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 blah. I've tried. It's hard, and especially when 9th edition came out with the Cabal points, where you're pretty much just farming Cabal points, and these things give you 0 Cabal points. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it work. But moving on, it's got the Flare Aura units. 1,000 Suns within 6 of this uses ritual specifics range, can double the range of the resolving ritual, whatever, and Psychic Dominion. Until the end of the phase, all attacks made against your Psyker with your Psychic weapons have the hazardous ability, and all models in your unit have Feel No Pain 4+. Interesting stuff there. Moving on, though, we're going to move on to the Drukhari. I'm just going to quickly go through this. Power Pain has changed yet again. Now it's going to be a token-based system. So, depending on how big the force is how many tokens you're going to start off with. And how you gain them. You gain 1 either by destroying a unit, causing a unit to fail Battle Shock. And that's pretty much it. That's how you gain your tokens. Here they go. They give you a special rule to use to empower your to use your pain tokens through. So it has two effects here. You can use it to either increase your movement or empower your movement or charge, which allows you to reroll advance and charge rolls, or shooting and fighting, which allows you to reroll hit rolls. So interesting enough. I kind of like the old system where it would continually make my army stronger each turn, but I'll have to see how it all plays out here. And then, of course, they're keeping the Real Space Raiders detachment rule, which you'll gain a pain token if you have the following here: 1 Archon, 1 Succubus, 1 Homunculus. So you're still good to have that there. Venom, they nerfed a little bit. It's now went from movement 16 to movement 14. Still 6 wounds. Went up to toughness 6, though. It's, whatever, really. Splinter weapons are going to be anti-infantry 3, so wounding on a 3+ with sustained hits. It's going to be nice. They're also... Oh, well, that's a splinter cannon, my mistake. The rifles, same thing, but gain the assault keyword now. So you can actually run and shoot with them. Other than that, strength has been reduced on the splinter rifle. Or yeah, the rifles, they're now strength 2. I think they used to be like strength 3. So that's a little bit of a downgrade. Whatever. I'll take wounding on a 3+ more. In terms of the vehicle, special ability, at the end of the fight phase, if you have a unit that's not within engagement range, they can actually hop back into the vehicle. So that's a good way to, you know, if you had witches or racks, wipe out a unit right there. You can quickly get them back into a vehicle for extra protection. Overall, I like it. It's pretty nice. Oh, and the other nerf is it went from a 5+ invul to a 6+ invul. So a little nerf on the Venom, but it was the strongest vehicle that the Drukhari had.
Interesting too, because it's always been between that and the Raider.
Yeah. Cowboy Warriors. They're pretty much stayed the same, except their save went up. They're now 4+ instead of 5+. The Phantom Grenade Launcher doesn't do anything with leadership anymore. It pretty much just gives them the grenade keyword, which is a stratagem. So that's whatever, really. Dark Lance, pretty much the same. D6+2, just like the Bright Lance, or yeah, the Bright Lance. Their ability is they can control an objective. They have sticky objectives. I already know. Pick the marker, blah blah blah. I'm thinking I'm moving too far ahead. Oh no, okay. So yeah, they can control objectives. Even if they're in a transport, they can have sticky objectives. So you just move a Venom right up on an objective, hold that for 1 turn, and then you just fly them off and do something else with them. So that's pretty nice to have. That's good there. Weapon Spotlight, we got the Haywire from the Talos. Range 24, 2 attacks, anti-vehicle +4, twin link. So it lost a few shots. It used to be D3 shots, so you could get like 3 shots out of it, but they did make it a flat damage 3, so it could be pretty devastating, especially if you can get devastating wounds off. So it's okay. It could be better, but can only hope for so much. We knew the Haywire was going to get toned down. And then we have Lilith's Blades. I don't really use Lilith. I don't really care. But she has anti-infantry 2+, so she's wounding on 2s. Sustain attacks 2s. So she can get a lot of crazy attacks out there. Especially with 8 attacks. And there's apparently, as they talk down here, once per battle, she can use Thrilling Spectacle, and she can make 12 attacks and increase her invulnerable by 3+. So she will be nasty. I wonder what ability she'll be able to give to her witches if you put her in a group. And then the last thing here, we got the Stratagem Alliance of Agony, which is target 1 Archon, Succubus, and Homunculus in your army, and they will be able. You spend 1 command point, discard 1 pain token, and you'll be able to empower all 3 units at once. Now, this could be good, could be bad. I mean, it all depends if you're able to get those 3 units in a position to where they would all benefit from the pain token. But I think you're still getting more bang for your buck by doing this, by picking this up, because at least that's 3 units that you can, shoot, combat, and combat with, or shoot, depending on where you put your homunculus.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I was excited for the Eldari, and after reading this article, I'm more excited for the Drukhari again. So I think 10th edition, this article has solidified that I will be doing Drukhari
nice.
this edition. And that is all the faction focus.
I think we got one more tomorrow, which is Gene Stealers, and that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, I don't really know who else is left, but that is that. Did you want to talk about the last article, or did you want to?
Yeah, fantasy article.
Fantasy article. So, big news. Didn't think we were going to get anything about this, but Old World has said stuff, and it has given us our core factions. We've got Empire, Dwarves, Bretonnia, Wood Elves, High Elves, Orcs and Goblins, Warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, and Tomb Kings. Those will be the core factions in the Old World.
Yeah, we're going to be getting the other factions as free PDFs. I am interested. It is interesting to me that they didn't include Skaven, considering Skaven does a big part of the overworld. But maybe it was, they're kind of playing into the whole like they're hidden, not really doing much, despite being a big part of the Warhammer Fantasy kind of. I mean, Vermintide, right, is just Skaven. So it is curious that they didn't include them. Now I will say that not having vampires is also weird, but yet having high elves, because high elves are also not of the old world, they're of a different continent. Same for the dark elves, they're in a different continent, so they're not in the game, but high elves are in a different continent. So it's a very interesting choice of factions. Now, if I do play this game, I'll play Empire, as it was obvious day one that they're going to be there. No Kislev, though. Now, no Kislev included, despite having that Kislev article. One of the first old articles was about Kislev, so I'm wondering what happened there. I mean, overall, I'm not unsatisfied.
Old Worlds 2 is when they'll come in.
Yeah, I'm not dissatisfied. Right, I'm not dissatisfied about the faction parody, but hey, I mean, Old World is Old World, so.
I mean, my faction lived, so
Yeah, right.
or got reborn, I should say.
One of the the faces is your faction, which good for you.
Yeah. But yeah, when you said the doing PDF for the other factions, free PDFs, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe GW would do something like that, especially Forge World.
Yeah, I did it for 30K, but yeah, it does mean though that the rules are gonna be not very well written because it's not gonna be as rigorously play tested or proofread. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yep. But hey, Old World people, rejoice if your army made it in.
Yeah,
I know I am. I don't even think I'm gonna play the game, but I'm happy. My army made it.
Gonna be Tomb King models.
There are gonna be new Tomb King models, hopefully. Yeah, very exciting. Still no release date on this, right?
Still no release date. Hopefully next year.
2026 release date. But yeah, that is that. That is all the Warhammer news that we wanted to talk about today. Is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to touch upon?
Kinda it. Mostly just the faction articles that they've been releasing.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to talk about them because I don't think I would be able to add anything considering I don't know much about them, given my gaming group doesn't really play much of those factions. It would just be like, isn't that cool? Yeah. I don't know if that's changed or anything. that is that. I think we'll call it there then. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
Right, everyone.